What's going on, Spurs fans, and welcome yet to another edition of the Tottenham Hotspur live stream. As this time, Spurs will welcome in the Bees of Brentford, another London derby, to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And of course, this is an absolutely massive fixture for Thomas Frank. Just in the sake of confidence. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. And also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming content here by Stateside Footy. All right. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and welcome in. It looks like Nateski. Nateski's in the house, man. RIFCTID. All right. So here's the thing. This is an absolutely massive fixture, for Thomas Frank, just in the name of confidence, just in the name of continuity, just to actually right the ship in a direction where it actually allows fans to kind of dare and dream and actually get some of that confidence back. And from that standpoint, when you look at the last when you look at the last 10, things have not been progressing in the way that I think a lot of Tottenham fans had hoped to see at this stage in Thomas Frank's first season. And again, when you look at today's starting lineups, man, I got to be honest with you, it doesn't necessarily instill confidence as we look at it. Vicario obviously will be in net. A back four of, and it looks like Pedro Porro on the right. Looks like it's going to be Romero and Van de Ven with Jed Spence off the left. And, of course, no Destiny Udogie in the team today there is a question of whether or not, Destiny kind of pulled up a knock. A double pivot today. And it looks like of Archie Gray. And it looks like Rodrigo Betancourt. Xavi Simons is back in the lineup today, playing in the 10. And it looks like a front three of Kudus, Kolo Muani, and Richarlison. Again, it doesn't necessarily inspire a lot of confidence in this one. And it looks like we're potentially going with a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 if you guys like. And it looks like a bulk of this play is going to be playing down the right-hand side. And for a team that has struggled with their attacking identity, for a team that, quite honestly, when it comes to first halves over the course of the last month and a half, essentially conceding full halves, it leaves, a lot less to be desired for this one. And I guess the question is what is exactly are we going to see from an attacking standpoint? Actually, more or less of what we're going to see from a defensive standpoint as well, too, because I hate to be the one to say it. But the entire league knows how to play Tottenham Hotspur. They know how to match up against a team like, a guy like Thomas Frank, and especially when you consider it's Brentford, right? The team that he is coming from. If there's any team that knows exactly what Thomas Frank is trying to do, how to set up, exactly his substitution patterns, his wrinkles that he's going to try to throw in mid-game, it's going to be a team like Brentford. And so from that standpoint, the pressure 100% is on the shoulders of Thomas Frank to potentially get this one right. And hopefully we see that today. As Dan Davenport, I love guys like Dan. It's good to see you today. He says, "What's up, Steve?" And he goes on to say, "We need a win at home. Our form this season has been really poor." Yeah, it's to the point where I think a lot of fans agreed that when Fulham came to town, and of course Fulham is a team that had yet to even get a result on the road, and they came and absolutely just put it to us, and to the point where we had absolutely no answers for a team like Fulham. And I think a lot of people are wondering whether or not that potentially could be the situation today as well, too, against a team like Brentford. Speaking of Brentford, it looks like Brentford is going to line up in a 4-2-3-1 as well, too. And it looks like Kelleher will be in net for them. A back four of Coyote, Vandenberg, Collins, who's going to be wearing the captain's band, and then Azure off the left-hand side, a double pivot of Jordan Henderson and Yarmouk. A midfield, essentially an attacking three of Sade off the right-hand side, Damsgaard underneath, and Otara off the left, and then, of course, Thiago will be up top. And, when you're kind of looking at where certain things, where certain areas of the pitch where we might be able to exploit. I don't necessarily think midfield is going to be that area. I could be wrong, but it just from a mind's eye, when I'm looking at the midfield three of Brentford, which is Henderson, Yarmouk, and Damsgaard, I think it potentially gives you a little bit of worry, considering that Xavi Simons is coming back into the team for the first time like in 5-6 matches. Archie Gray is Archie Gray, and it feels like he's been untested this season. In the matches that he has played, he's looked extremely good getting forward. And then Rodrigo Betancourt, unfortunately, Rodrigo is coming off one of his worst performances in a Spurs shirt against Newcastle, and of course he was the bloke that unfortunately drew the penalty late, and the fact that there is no João Palhinha, and I know that Palhinha's form maybe over the course of the last couple games or his last couple starts hasn't been great, but he is by far our best midfielder, and it absolutely is mind-numbingly hard to fathom why he's not in the lineup today. Even if his form isn't exactly the greatest, he still is the best midfielder that we have. And so when I'm looking at this, I'm starting to wonder where we're going to try to exploit this team, considering that how we play and how we set up in the attack is very methodical. It's very possession based. It's not direct. And we like to slowly progress the ball up the pitch. And personally, it's not my style of play. It is what it is. But that being said, according to Thomas Frank, things have been progressing well in training. So maybe we will see something a little bit different. It looks like the players are coming out of the tunnel now. But I'll just say this, that for Tottenham Hotspur today, I don't like to classify things as must wins, but when you look at the fact that a little over a month ago we were in third or fourth place, and now all of a sudden, we're in a position where we're tied with three other teams at 19 points. We've only progressed 2 points since then. 2 points. We were sitting in third or fourth place on 17 points at the beginning of November, and now here we are on December 6th, and we've only progressed 2 points. One win, and that one win came in the Champions League, against Copenhagen, and outside of that, we really haven't necessarily looked looked the greatest. So from that standpoint, it's hard for me. It's hard for me as a Spurs supporter to feel confident for today. Just understanding the patterns in which we play, the way that Thomas Frank wants to progress. The fact that, quite honestly, the last 4 or 5 Premier League matchups, we've essentially surrendered the first half in a need to try to nick a goal within the first 15 minutes of the second half. Maybe maybe try to potentially catch their opponent off the on the back foot, because maybe they've taken their foot off the gas to start the second half. It hasn't worked. More oftentimes than not, we go into the break down a goal or two, as we did against Fulham, and then of course now all of a sudden we're now trying to chase a result where otherwise maybe if we were a little bit more front-footed, especially at home, maybe we actually are the ones to take it to them. And of course, at home, which is wildly weird, considering that we just seem to show so much goddamn respect to our opponents, where even a team like Wolves or a team like Bournemouth or a team like Fulham, teams that we should be padding our points against, especially at home, man. It's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. I'll just say that. But it looks like we're about ready to kick. And in just a second, I will tell you. And it looks like Brentford will be playing to the south stand here in the first half. Of course, we generally play to the south stand in the second half. And it looks like the trumpeter is getting this crowd in unison. There are the guys right there. Hopefully we have a good energized crowds today, man, because it's awfully hard for our home supporters to get up for these when we're watching the exact same performance week in and week out at home. But that being said, man, I'm optimistic. At least I try to be. That's the best. That's the best. That's the best. That's the best I can get. But yeah, we're about ready to start. Spurs will hold possession, playing from right to left to the north stand, as Xavi Simons will be responsible for this one. And we are underway here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as the ball gets played back to Vicario. And that ball will go long down the left-hand side as that will get played out. And it will be Jed Spence responsible for this throw in here as that ball comes into Archie Gray. That's a good pass right there. Here's Xavi. He's going to play it off to the right. Here's Pedro Porro on the outside, 1v1. As he lays it back to Kudus. And that 1-2 between Kudus and Xavi, and that goes all the way back to Betancourt. And Spurs will have to restart. As that ball's going to go up, and that's going to get deflected. As Spurs do their best to hold it in, but that's going to come down. And it'll find its way out of play. So this will be a Spurs throw. And so already, as we are in literally the first minute, we've already seen Spurs concede space. As that ball gets played back, all the way back to Kelleher. So Spurs try to press as that ball goes forward. And Jed Spence will track this one down and out of play. It seems maybe Spurs are a little bit lively here. Knowing damn well that they absolutely need this one, and I don't understand what that was all about. But as that ball came in, it looked like there was a flick out. So it looks like maybe Brentford will have the throw in here. As that ball gets played back, headed in, and there's Vicario. And there's a quick throw to the right side. As that was a bad touch by Richarlison, and now all of a sudden, here comes Brentford. As they're going to try to progress this through the middle. There's a play to the left-hand side over the head of Pedro Porro into Artara. And it looks like there's going to be an offside right there. Actually, it was Kevin Shada. As that ball will be ruled offside. So Keith Andrews, and it looks like Keith Andrews was I think he was the goalkeeper coach under, or the set piece coach under Thomas Frank last year. He is the new head coach, as Brentford has actually had some decent results at home, not so much on the road. I think they only have one result on the road, which is a draw. As this ball gets played back to Vicario, as Romero will play this out. Good 1-2 right there, as they're going to try to play this one forward. But Pedro Porro tries to go to the left, and now all of a sudden, Brentford progresses it back, and here's Otara, 1v1, and that's a good play right there by Jed Spence as that ball gets played out. And it's going to be interesting to see exactly how our center back pairing does versus a guy like Igor Thiago, who is absolutely unbelievable as their center forward. Didn't necessarily address the position because they knew he was coming back off of injury. Here's Jed Spence. As Richarlison tries to hold it up, that was nearly taken away. And Archie Gray will play it all the way to the right-hand side, and it's Pedro Porro. On the right-hand side, back to Romero. And they're going to cycle this between Vicario and Van de Ven. As they're going to play this up to Jed Spence, and he's got space all the way down the left-hand side. As now he holds it up, waiting for an overlap. He cuts in, and he will play it back. Here's Betancourt, and that ball's taken away. Now here comes Brentford on the counterattack. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to have to play this one back. As numbers were not numbers were not conducive to get forward. As it looks like Spurs will win that ball right there down that left-hand side, and we'll try to restart again. Looks like Dennis, 4108. I'm an American Spurs fan that just found your channel this morning. I'm curious what your thoughts on Thomas Frank is. They're kind of mixed right now, man. I'm not 100% sold that Thomas Frank is the right fit for Tottenham Hotspur, but that being said, sooner or later, we're going to have to stop the trend of hiring and firing coaches. But I guess the question really we have to ask ourselves is Thomas Frank the kind of coach you want, to build around? Is his style of football the image in which you want to see your favorite club play football, right? For me, the answer is no. But that being said, if things right as that ball gets played down the pitch, and there's Vicario, if things turn themselves around and we start getting results, I'm more than willing to see it through. Good move by Van de Ven as he tries to play it forward, and it looks like it's Kudus lays it out to the right hand side. Porro plays it in. That's going to get deflected out, and it'll be a Spurs corner. Good progression right there as Spurs figured out a way to weave themselves through the middle of the pitch as they got the ball on the foot of Xavi and Mohamed Kudus and were able to free Pedro Porro down the right-hand side. That's very good ball movement right there for Spurs, and something that I would like to see more of in this first half. Yeah, I guess the question for you, Dennis, is, and I don't know how long you've been a Spurs fan, is this style of football something that you want to see this team build around for the long term, 3+ years? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if the answer is no, I think that kind of answers your question, because me personally, the answer is no. As that ball gets played in and it was immediately headed out, but that goes right back in as Xavi had to play it short. As that ball gets played to the right, it's Kudus. Kudus again will swing it in. Headed on goal, that's going to get over, as this attacking sequence has actually looked really good for Spurs. Getting to that corner, not exactly the greatest initial corner, but Spurs held it in and were able to actually get the ball into a very dangerous area with two different attackers, as Mickey Van de Ven puts one over the crossbar right there. So, we're 7 minutes in, and it looks like Spurs are on the front foot here, as that ball will head down to Betancourt, and it's Van de Ven who immediately progresses this forward, tipped away by Kolo Muani, and now there's going to be a whistle right there, and it looks like it might have been against Jed Spence right there. So Spurs are actually being a little bit more direct here. And it makes me wonder whether or not the handbrake is off for this one. As it looks like Kelleher will be responsible here for this free kick just on the other side of the midway line in Brentford territory as that ball gets played in. And that's going to be headed up. Kept in by Brentford as that ball drops. And now it's going to be played forward. Nice little flick on by Xavi, but good defense right there by Brentford. But it's going to get out, and it'll be a Spurs thrower here. And automatically, Xavi's going to try to play this forward, and he does. Here's Richarlison now. Ooh, and that ball's going to take a deflection that's going to get out for another corner. And it looks like Richarlison wants a call. As we see this again, as Richarlison. Now, it was clearly deflected. And they're going to say goal kick. Wow. Okay. Because the ball was deflected out. But okay, as that ball will go up the left-hand side. And now that's no call. Is that taken away by Kudus? He's going to have to play this one back. as Spurs reset with Van de Ven, and it immediately goes, just a little too far ahead of Jed Spence right there by Mickey Van de Ven. So this will go up for a Brentford throw-in. It says, I agree. I want to see more creativity on the ground. I want to see more quick 1-2 passes, play pushing through gaps. Right, I do too, right? This team was anything but direct. It just doesn't seem like there is, even like, when you concede soft spaces, as Brentford cuts right through the midfield and just gets played off to the right-hand side. Oh, good defense right there. And it was Randall Colomwani to push that one out. So I think this is actually going to be a Brentford corner. But again, they were able to knife their way right through Spurs midfield, and Randall Colomwani had to track back. So yeah, this will definitely go out for a Brentford corner here. Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be it looks like, who's it going to be? Number 19. Otera. As that ball goes in, headed down, played forward, and that's going to get out for a goal kick. Looks like that was good defense right there by Richarlison. And it looks like Spurs are in the early going through 10 minutes. It looks like Spurs are the team that are pushing the action, that are on the front foot. As Vicario will play this back to Van de Ven. As Van de Ven finds Colomwani dropping deep, and that's going to get deflected out. It's surprising that Colomwani is dropping deep here. Usually it's going to be Xavi Simons. That is the guy that's responsible for making that deep touch. But now today it's Colomwani, which is wild that it's not one of the two holding midfielders. You would think you want to keep your, more attacking minded players a little bit forward and play a little bit through your midfielders, but I digress. Oh, and Thiago now. Oh, good defense right there by Romero. As Thiago actually had the step right there through the channel. And that ball's going to get cleared out. As Romero came over. As Brentford was able to find Thiago. Good defense, man. Good defense. As that one goes in, as it comes down, it looks like Brentford. And that ball comes down to Mohamed Kudus, and here comes Spurs on the break. He's got a man to the outside. Here's Xavi. Plays it forward to Kudus, who's got to turn around here. But now he's going to try to beat him around the corner. He does. That ball goes in to the backside. It's Richarlison. Richarlison tries to put one on. That's blocked. Oh, nice play by Betancourt to keep it in. It's going to be Jed Spence. Spence is going to play one. And to the right side, there was nobody there. And now here comes Brentford. As they're going to play it all the way down. It's Thiago. Thiago. Ooh, nice play right there by Betancourt, taking away a passing lane. Ooh. Good defense right there. That's usually where Spurs get killed. And now Jed Spence is going to play his way around the left side. Here's Spence. And that ball's going to go out. Looks like Dennis. Dan Davenport says, Tim Vickery, South American football expert, said on Sport Radio, said a country has never retained the World Cup. Yeah, South American team. Yeah. Well, it just goes to show you how good, world football is at this point. And Dan says, hello, Dennis. Dan from England. Yeah, speaking of which, you're an American Spurs fan, Dennis. Where are you from here in the great United States, as Pedro Porro will be responsible for this corner. As everybody is at the back post. And now Spurs will bring guys in. That ball goes to the back post. Headed away by Kelleher. As that ball has to be played back in. And now headed out again. Here's Porro. Porro is going to play one in. Back post. And that's going to be cleared away. Arkansas, huh? Nice, man. Are you in Ozark country or no? Yeah, no, I'm in the Great Lakes region, in the fighting town of Flint, Michigan. So not too far away from the great state of Arkansas. As they're going to try to play this one short. Ball goes in, back post, and that's going to be headed away. Chasing after it is Kolo Muani. Here's Randall. 1v1. That's going to get tipped away. And Kolo Muani tries to keep it in, but that's going to be held in. There's a shot. Ooh! And Xavi from outside. And that'll clear the crossbar, but Spurs, man. This has a different feel from it. They're being aggressive here. Okay, so not too far from the Ozarks. I'm more central. Nice. What is that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. So I'm familiar with Pine Bluff, Arkansas Pine Bluff, the Golden Lions. So here comes Spurs again on the counter, off the left-hand side, as Jed Spence will play it to Randall Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani tries to go central, finds his man. As Spurs reset, here's Archie Gray. Here's Caduce, trying to get a little bit more central, and he does. Here's Xavi. And you got to play this one back. As Spurs had to reset. Here's Caduce. Jesus. As there's a long ball. He's got Richarlison. 1v1. Richarlison to the top of the box. Lays it off. Caduce will go to the right. Oh, too far. But here's Pedro Porro now. Porro plays one. And that's going to clear the entire box. But right there is Jed Spence. Here's Archie Gray. Oh, plays one in, but right there is Kelleher. And Spurs are peppering the box here. Through the first 20 minutes, it's been really all Spurs attack here. And there's Spurs taken away off the left side. And now it's Archie Gray cutting right through the midfield. Actually, it was Betancourt. My apologies. Here's Archie Gray right here. And now Spurs will play it between their two center backs. And here's Pedro Porro now. And now Mikey Vendeven's got some space off the left, and he finds Jed Spence. 1v1 as Brentford shades another defender. And now it's Betancourt. Here's Kolo trying to beat his man. That's going to be taken away. And now here comes Brentford. As they're going to play one, all the way down, but retreating is Mikey Vendeven. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I support Seattle. Absolutely. Are you a St. Louis SC guy? KC guy right there? Spurs will throw this in, and now they're going to try to make the switch to the right-hand side. Here's Porro. There's just nowhere to go. And retreat the Spurs do. As they will find Brando Colomwani 1v1. Here's Colo. Plays it. Back post. Punched away. Kept in. Here's Xavi. And there is a whistle. Through the first 20 minutes, Spurs have been the aggressive side, have been the team on the front foot, have been peppering Brentford's box with crosses. They just have yet to find somebody that's in a advantageous position to actually put one on. As that time, Kelleher came out to play that one away, and it looks like... All right. Well, Inter Miami is playing today in the MLS Cup final, and of course that match will be live streamed here on Stateside Footy as well too. That is going down at 2:30 Eastern here in the United States. And of course, for those that are across the pond, this is obviously it's our final. So big, massive opportunity for both Inter Miami and Vancouver. So it should be a great game. And it looks like, is that Jordan Henderson that was down? Anyway, Beckham, yeah, you were saying that, yeah. Yeah, Beckham is about 8 miles away from your home, yeah. So it looks like we're about ready to restart play here in the first half, as we are about 21 minutes and 40 seconds into this thing. Spurs certainly have been on the front foot, and it looks like it was Azier that was down. Their left back. Looks like he's up as he dusts off his collar. All right, Danny. I hope you have a good Christmas party, bud. I think our Christmas party will be on December 23rd, maybe. Our work Christmas party, it will be at work. Unfortunately, we don't do the neutral third party Christmas parties, as Romero will play it in. Tipped. Ooh. Good ball progression right here. As Archie Gray will go to the left. It's Rando Colomwani. Colo. Tip forward. There's just nobody there. Oh. As it looks like Vandeven's going to have to retreat to get this one. Yeah, you know what? I like Nashville too. They're a fun team to watch. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Sammy Surridge. As here comes Brentford now, playing it forward. Here's Igor Thiago. Gets one on. Nice save right there by Vicario. Good ball movement down the right-hand side right there by Brentford, as they were able to find Igor Thiago in space. Again, off the counterattack. As we see it. As Vicario does a very good job on that one. As it looks like Betancourt missed his mark right here. So this will go out for Brentford corner as that ball gets whipped into the back post. Headed away. Held in. Good job right there by Caduce of winning that ball. Plays it forward. And it's Xavi who works its way out. As that ball is going to go forward. Oh, God, what a play by Kelleher to come out and clear it, because Spurs actually had the angle on that one, as Colomwani made a great central run to get onto that ball. And Kelleher punches it away. What has gotten into the Spurs attack today? This has actually been fun to watch. They have been direct, man. But they've also been decent in their high possession. As that ball is going to go forward. And here's Xavi. Plays it across. Goal! What a goal by Spurs. And that's how you attack. What a goal. Holy shit. Was that beautiful? And Spurs get paid off in the 25th minute. As we see it again, Xavi is going to make the run down the right-hand side. It was a great ball over the top. And this is how Xavi is used. When you play him onto the ball in dangerous areas, his skill takes over. And he absolutely pinpoints out Richarlison at the back post. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, there you go, Dennis. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about as well, too. God damn it, that was brilliant. And what's funny is, like, when you play direct, these are the things that happen. As after the restart, and Spurs will take over. And now all of a sudden, there's a new confidence in Tottenham Hotspur, as Kelleher will lay it off to Jordan Henderson. Oh, front-footed Spurs, as that ball's going to go long. And it looks like it's going to go out. And this will be a Spurs throw-in. As they were trying to pinpoint Arteta down the right-hand side. And now all of a sudden, Spurs have kind of flexed their muscle a little bit. And if they can do this for a good 60 more minutes, we're in business. And that ball gets off to Archie Gray, and now he'll settle down to Randall Colomwani off the left. Mwani plays it in. And it's Xavi. Good 1-2 between Archie Gray, Jed Spence, and Xavi. And now they're going to have to play this one back. As they will swing this around the back to the right-hand side. And now they're going to have to play this all the way back. And here's Van de Ven, who beats his man. Van de Ven up the left-hand side. Van de Ven's going to play it in. Heavy touch by Richarlison. And now there's going to be a free kick in a dangerous area. And that looks like it's going to go against Coyote. Now, all of a sudden, Spurs are now cooking with gas here. As Coyote gets called in a anytime you step on the foot, you're going to get whistled right there, and of course you're going to get the yellow whether you like it or not. Now all of a sudden Spurs are in a dangerous position here with this free kick just off the left-hand side of the 18-yard box, and it will be Pedro Porro. And Mohamed Kudus. As we are pushing the 29th minute, so we are essentially a half hour into this first half. It's been all Tottenham Hotspur, and this has been a blessing to watch. Good Lord, has this been fun to watch? Here's Porro now. Oh no, it's going to be Kudus, back post, headed away but kept in. Oh, and it looked like that might have been, that was Xavi trying to take a rip. Good idea right there by Xavi. As Xavi comes in, Gets played on. Gives Spurs an assist. I like the idea by Xavi. What's funny, Dennis, is coming into this one. That ball going to be taken away up high? A mistake it is. Kudus will win this ball up high. Good. Ooh, Spurs will hold it into the. Ooh, good move right there by Brentford to take it away. Now here comes the Brentford counterattack. Good defense right there by Spurs. And they're going to call a whistle. What's interesting about this coming into this one, there was a very big confidence issue with me just seeing the patterns in which this team plays. It was hard to fathom, a solid start. But it was nice to be proven wrong as Romero came in with a sliding tackle on Igor Thiago, and it looks like he got all ball too, but he also gets tangled up. That was a good challenge as Thiago's still down. But that being said, man, I love being proven wrong. Man, this has been just a pure joy to watch. We are the front-footed. We are the bully today, and it's something that we just haven't seen since, I'm going to say, Burnley, Manchester City. Let's see. Great to see Richie score. Yeah, I would say that. It's good to see him. And then I like this too. Every time VDV makes a run, it just puts you on edge. Oh, I know, dude. VDV is my favorite player. Next to Kulusevski, VDV is my guy. And what's interesting for a center back, his pace, his ability on the ball is, something that we rarely see from a center back. But it looks like play is about to resume here, so this will be a free kick. Do I see Messi retiring after the World Cup? No, he signed an extension with Miami through 2028. He's going to be around for a few more years. So this will be a free kick, and it looks like Jordan Henderson is going to be on this long free kick here, as it's just central, just below the circle inside Spurs half the pitch here. And this has to be a time where Spurs have to stay locked on, as that ball will go. Oh, nice play by Vicario going up and get that one. Great play by Vicario to take that one out of the air as that ball headed towards goal, and how quickly he will move it to the right side. And Pedro Porro will play it up as Kudus plays through traffic. Will hold it to Romero. Here's Van de Ven. And that whole left side has been wide open. Here comes Kolo Muani now, and he loses control. And that's going to go out. Too heavy of a touch right there by Randall Kolo Muani. And apparently it was last touch by Brentford. That's odd. As Spurs, that gets tipped away. Nice play right there by Archie Gray. And I think that's going to get out. Spurs lead 1-0. A very, very, very good goal. Very good direct attacking goal. That gives them the lead. And this team is just better playing from ahead. They look far more relaxed. They look a little bit comfortable playing with the lead versus playing from behind, which seems kind of obvious, but there is a difference in comfortability. But here comes Brentford. And they're going to have to track back. And now they're going to play this one forward. Taken away right there by Pedro Porro. And Xavi is having a little trouble controlling this one, but the ball falls back down to Brentford, taken away by Betancourt. Here's Archie Gray. Here's Xavi. And it's Archie Gray. Oh, he missed 2 runners on the inside. But here's Pedro Porro trying to play this one, and I think this one's going to get deflected out. Archie had 2 central runners right there that he completely missed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, actually, no, he actually hit it. It was Pedro Porro. He just played it over the top instead of in. So this will get out for a corner here. This has looked good. Here's Caduce. As that ball goes in, headed away. Good defense by Brentford. And it was that Damsgaard. Good tough play by Xavi. Xavi's look good today too. Here's Jed Spence now. As Archie Gray is going to have to play this one back. So it looks like Brentford's kind of trying to ratchet up pressure here. As Vicario will play it to the right. Held up nicely by Caduce. As Spurs have held 71% of the possession this far. And here comes Brentford now playing down the right-hand side. Good pass centrally. As now they'll try to swing it from right to left. As they will play it. Looks like it's back to Asia here. As they will try to cycle this down the right-hand side. As Jed Spence will try to close the distance. Oh, nice play right there by Archie Gray. Taking away the edge as the ball goes out, so this will be a corner. Good hustling play right there by Archie Gray. Oh, when the Spurs go marching in. So it'll be, looks like it'll be Altera playing this one short. Ooh. As it looks like Kevin Shada got at the end of that one. That one will go out. So it looks like this will be a Spurs goal kick here. I don't know. I kind of like Kevin Shada. So it'll be Mickey Van de Ven. As play is restarted. As Vicario will go back to Van de Ven. Ooh, yeah. No whistles. Van de Ven absolutely gets pummeled. Taken away by Rodrigo Betancourt. Now, all of a sudden, here we go. Here's Xavi Simons in space. Plays it forward to Caduce off the right. Caduce beats his man around the corner. Oh, that's good defense right there. Looks like that was Asia right there. And now all of a sudden there will be another corner right here. But it looks like Caduce beat his man around the corner and just Asia with a good sliding tackle right there, taking away the edge. So this will now be a corner. But man, oh man. What is my thoughts on Dane Scarlett? Great question. As that ball gets whipped into the back post, that's going to be headed away. And I think we're going to redo this one just from the other side here. I think Dane Scarlett has the potential to be a pretty good striker. The only difference is he's just not getting any minutes right now. And I think that's going to be for the detriment. I think they probably wanted to loan him out, but didn't have a good loan move lined up. So unfortunately, he's on the first team, literally just not getting any minutes. And I don't think it's conducive for a player like that to at least not get some sort of opportunity with the first team. Considering that for large stretches of time, both, Richarlison has not been great. as it looks like there was a scrum there in the box. As Van de Ven tries to push his way through. That ball goes to the back post, headed forward. Oh, on! Oh, good save right there by Kelleher, as that was point blank, as that ball gets headed back to the near post. Oh, and that easily could have been two. Oh, that might have been the dagger. Possession held in. Ooh, tried to flick it into a good area. Taken away by Brentford. Ooh, Keller gets it away as Richarlison nearly got that one. As that ball gets away, and it'll be a Brentford throw-in down the left-hand side. As we see this again, as this ball gets headed back in, and it was Kolo Muani who put it on with nobody marking him, as it was Romero that played it. Kolo Muani gets it on. It was just point-blank saved by Kelleher on the line. And that easily could have been two right there. Oh. As we are now 40 minutes in, 5 minutes to the half, Spurs have been absolutely electric in this first half, as they currently lead 1-0. And they have done a very good job of closing down this Brentford attack. Brentford really has not had very much opportunity on the ball. Spurs have dominated possession, and they have kept Brentford pinned back. Don't stop now. There you go, Colo. Close it down. Make life difficult. There you go. Take it away. Here's Jed Spence. And that's going to get tipped out for a Spurs throw-in. That's what I'm talking about. Keep the pressure. As Jed Spence will have to play this back. As that gets played all the way back to Romero. Here's Xavi. Heavy touch, and he loses the ball. But Xavi wins it back. Here we go. Xavi's got space. Here's Xavi. Xavi shoots. Goal! Cook, young man, cook. Cook, young man, cook. Allow dangerous players to handle the ball. Dangerous things will happen. Xavi Simons with a goal and assist here in his first half. And you see this right here. He made a bad touch, but the ball pings around and he wins it back, and then it's off to the races. And he beats two defenders. And again, Xavi Simons in direct link play. This dude is dangerous. And now we see exactly why we paid 50+ million pounds for this kid, because he's absolutely a dangerous player. And against Brentford, a goal and assist here in the first half. Good freaking Lord. As Xavi has been an absolute maestro in this first half. As play restarts here, as we are inching a couple minutes closer to the half, as that ball gets played back to Kelleher, and he's got to sky this one, and that'll get over the head of two Spurs defenders. But here comes Kevin Schade. Oh, nice play right there by Romero, taking away the passing lane. As Archie Gray will lay it back to Pedro Porro. And Spurs have done an excellent job. Now Kudus beats his man down the right side. Tries to cut in. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a yellow card right there. As Kudus absolutely beat Asia right there to the inside. Asia had no choice but to draw the yellow right there. So we are now in the 44.5 minute. That was such a good play right there by Mohamed Kudus. Some would say that actually could have been a red right there, considering he wasn't playing the ball at all. That's we are getting close to the 45th minute now. Let's see. Dane Scarlett had one loan spell at Oxford. Wasn't exactly the best loan spell for Dane. As we will have 3 minutes of extra time here at the end of the first half. Spurs lead 2-0. Dennis says the first half has been beautiful. I think Frank is finally realizing he is not managing Brentford. Now, you know what it is? It's the recognition of how the attributes of certain players play. I don't necessarily think we're built for, as that ball goes in, kept away, as Betancourt tried to put one on. Here's Xavi. Lays it for Betancourt. Back to Xavi. In. Oh, what a pass. Good Kolo Muani absolutely beat his man, and Xavi put a dime in there. It was just taken away. Ooh, that would have been 3. As play restarts. I just don't think that a lot of these players' strong suits are built for a high possession, high passing, high possession style of attack. I just don't think that it works. But that being said, it's like you've seen the way that we scored our 2 goals. It was quick strike, direct attacking. As that ball goes all the way up. And now it's Van de Ven as the ball comes down. No whistle. As Van de Ven's feet was taking that right out from him. And he's slow to get back up, but it goes back to Vicario. And Vicario will play it up the left-hand side. As it falls to Richarlison. And there's going to be... Are they going to say this one went against Kolo Muani? Yeah, I don't know about that. And here comes Brentford now, trying to play down the left-hand side. Cuts in. And Henderson has to play it back. And now Betancourt will engage. And they move it all the way around. Now they're going to try the right-hand side. And there's no dice there. As that will swing it all the way to Jordan Henderson, who will now play it down the left to Azure. And now they're going to try again to the right-hand side. Spurs close down space. Oh, nice pass into the interior. Taken away by Spurs. And now it's cleared. Good job. Good job by Spurs defense right there. As they close down space, but they close down the ball in an effective way. But there's the switch, and it finds Kevin Schotted. They're going to try to play this one forward. And right there is Vicario around the corner. And there's your first half, as Spurs will go into the dressing room up 2 goals by Richarlison, assisted by Xavi Simons. And the second goal by Xavi Simons. It was a very, very good play to get that ball back and then make that run all the way into the box, and it was an even better finish. So from that standpoint, Spurs have done everything right in this first half. The mentality coming into this one was 100% right. They started on the front foot. Thomas Frank, credit, did release the handbrake on a lot of different players, and I think it's absolutely showed because, you're allowing your best forward players to actually have the freedom to make plays. So they're not necessarily just confined, to certain boxes in their areas of the pitch, and just allow this team to play beautiful, free-flowing attacking football. And all of a sudden you get 2 goals, 2 very good, amazing looking goals. One of them, two of them both, direct off the counterattack. And it was just literally, two passes, bam, goal. In the case of Xavi Simons, that second goal, it was just unbelievable to win it back, and then just to make that inverted run, and just to put one past Kelleher. That was just fucking goddamn. That was beautiful. Let's look at the stats here. As Spurs finish the first half with 61% of the possession to Brentford 39. Spurs XG, which has been, I guess you can say, a sore subject for Spurs fans over the course of the last month. First half XG 1.92 to Brentford 0.7. Shots on net, Spurs 9, Brentford 1. Shots on target, 3-1 Spurs. Big chances, 2-0 Spurs. Accurate passes, Spurs 188, Brentford 114. Fouls committed, Spurs 4, Brentford 2. Corners, Spurs 6, Brentford 3. Shots inside the box, Spurs 6, Brentford 1. Shots outside the box, this is key, Spurs 3, Brentford 0. Spurs have not allowed them to set up in front of their box to be dangerous. Very, very, very key. Total passes, 215 Spurs, Brentford 147. Passes in our own half, Spurs 94, Brentford 63. Passes in the opposition half, Spurs 94, Brentford 5. Accurate long balls, Spurs 11, Brentford 9. Accurate crosses, 4-1 Spurs. Touches in the opposition box, Spurs 13, Brentford 8. On the defensive side of the ball, Brentford leads the tackle battle 14-7. Both teams have 5 interceptions. Clearances, Brentford 17, Spurs 10. Both have one keeper save. And right now, Brentford leads the duel battle, obviously, because they've been on the back foot 27-21. Ground duels 19-14 Brentford. Aerial duels 8-7 Brentford. But Spurs lead the successful dribble 5-1. It's also worth mentioning, though, in the last 9 that these two teams have played, by the way, Spurs lead this one 5. They have won 5, drawn 3, and only lost 1, including last year, as we absolutely dominated the double last year, and of course the year before we were also pretty good as well too, with a draw and a win. Brentford's only win came in 2023 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Outside of that, we have dominated this matchup. A quick look around the Premier League as we look at this one. Let's go all the way down, shall we? Aston Villa beats Arsenal today 2-1. Congratulations to Villa, as Matty Cash and Buendia score for Villa in the 36 and 90 plus 5. Leandro Trossard scored for Arsenal in the 52nd minute, so congratulations to Villa. Right now, Everton is leading Forest 2-0 at the half, as it looks like Milinkovic actually gets pinged for an own goal for Forest. But Tierno Barry scored in the 45 plus 3 as Everton leads 2-0 up the Toffees. Newcastle is beating Burnley 2-0. They get goals from Bruno Guimaraes and a penalty from Anthony Gordon. But Lucas Pires has drawn a red card for Burnley, and that was in the 43rd minute. So Burnley's going to have to play a man down, trying to play back, trying to at least get back a 2-goal lead. And this is actually kind of a big match, considering that Newcastle and Bournemouth are the other two teams that are sitting on 19 points with us. So, you're kind of hoping that there might be a little bit of an upset, whether it would be Chelsea or Burnley, but we'll see exactly how this one plays out. Right now at the half, Manchester City leads Sunderland 2-0 as goals by Ruben Diaz in the 31st minute, and then Vardiol in the 35th minute. So Man City currently leads 2-0. And oh, by the way, now that Arsenal lost, it looks like City might go up top of the Premier League. Let's see. So, let's see. Bournemouth Chelsea is 0-0 at the half. And I hate to say it, but up the up Chelsea. I don't like Chelsea at all, but it would be nice. It would be nice if we can get some separation when it comes to the table. Looks like Newcastle might hold on, but it is what it is. Later today, Leeds will host Liverpool at Ellen Road. Brighton tomorrow, 9 a.m. will host West Ham at the Amex. Fulham will host Crystal Palace. Let's go Eagles. And Wolves will host Man United. So a very good weekend around the Premier League. And looking at the table right now, and it looks like if Man City do hold on, maybe there is still some separation at the top of the table. It looks like Arsenal's on 33, so we'll see exactly how that plays out. Villa winning moves to 30. Everton, if they hold on, they will move into 5th place, 1 point over Crystal Palace. And if Spurs hold on to this one, they move to 22 points and put themselves at 8th in the table, 1 point behind Sunderland and Palace. So this is actually kind of a big win. By the way, and if they do win, they'll be tied on 22 points with Liverpool, United, Newcastle, and Brighton. So a win today, by the way, changes the entire complexity of the next couple weeks, because they get Slavia Prague in the Champions League, and then they get Nottingham Forest next week. So from that standpoint, this could be a 6-point swing, and all of a sudden it's going to look and feel very different. So we still have 45 more minutes left in this one for these 3 points, but bearing some sort of catastrophe, it looks like Spurs are going to be able to hold on to this one. And so in the second half, I will say this: Spurs have to continue to play with the exact same intensity. This is not a time to take your foot off the gas. If you're Thomas Frank, you're not going to sit here and drop deep and try to play this, play this possession game where you're essentially just going to try to hold possession for 45 minutes. You still have to continue to progress the ball forward with the same attacking intensity as you did in the first half, because you want to play for 3 and 4 goals. You really want to step on Brentford's throat in the second half, and you want to win this thing so convincingly that the fans have no choice but to be on your side. You get what I'm saying? It's like this cannot be a tale of two halves where it's like, yeah, that was great in the first half, but we only managed 1 shot in the second half, and we kind of reverted back to the same bullshit we've seen over the last 5 or 6 weeks. So from that standpoint, it has to be one of those wins where it's definitive. Like, we absolutely stepped on their throats, and literally took the fight right out of Brentford. So from that standpoint, that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see that direct attacking off the counterattack, because Xavi, like, we just saw exactly why they brought in Xavi Simons. That's exactly why, because that's the way he played 100% of the time in Germany, and that's why his reputation was staked too, not just in the Bundesliga, but also with the Dutch national team as well too. Like, that is the weapon that you have if you know how to play him correctly. And so from that standpoint, man, we absolutely have to keep that pressure. If Thomas Frank does that, and he brings off an attacker for a third center back and he just drops back, I'm going to be so disappointed. So disappointed, because now you're essentially welcoming Brentford back into the game. And we have done such a good job of negating their attack. We have not allowed them into dangerous areas the entire first half. There was never really a dangerous moment where you can pinpoint to, outside of that right-handed movement where Igor Thiago got onto it and put one on that Vicario was easily able to save. There has been no movement from Brentford in their attack that would suggest that they've been anywhere near goal. And to take your foot off the gas to protect a 2-goal lead, now all of a sudden you're inviting danger, and that's just not something that makes a hell of a lot of sense. So you guys out there, let me know exactly how you guys feel about the first half. What were some of the highlights for you in the first half? What were some of the things that you saw that looked night and day different from what you saw in prior weeks? Let me know about that. Was this on your bingo card? A Xavi goal and assist? Let me know a lot about that as well too. So, man, that was something absolutely unbelievable. Holy crap, man. That was awesome. I was absolutely gobsmacked by that first half. I got to be honest with you, man. Woo! Oh, look at his. Look, it's my guy, man. Carl Flynn Blue, aka Audio Artisan, man. What's going on with you today, man? Let me ask you a question. There, Carl Slim Blue. Your thoughts on the first half? Because to me, that was me personally. That was the best half of football I think I've seen since maybe the second half versus Burnley in the opener. Like that was a very convincing half of football. It's something that man, oh man, oh man. Like I'm out of word. Like I was absolutely gobsmacked to see it. I didn't think we had it in us. And man, I'm all smiles. I am absolutely all smiles. You know, especially because I've been saying this for 5 weeks now that you know the personnel doesn't match the want to play like this crazy high possession style of football, where you're kind of taking away some of your best players away from net, right? Where even on the counter attack, they're slowing things down and trying to progress the ball in this tiki-taka high possession style of football, where you just saw in the first half where if you strike quickly on the counter and be direct, good things will happen. You know what's funny is like I didn't even think it was really shaky from the opening minute. It looked like we were on the front foot. It looked like we were trying to move with intention. And as things settled in, absolutely domination is the right word. You had a feeling Xavi was going to score today, huh? You know, when the lineups came out, man, I got to be honest with you, I didn't have a good feeling because it looked like we were going to revert back to a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, and it looked like we were going to be one-sided down the right-hand side. But that being said, we also played down the left-hand side. We are actually more dominant down the left-hand side, which I think has also made Mohamed Kudus even that much more dangerous down the right-hand side when we do play down there. It was a very good first half all the way around, but we were also good in central areas as well too. And it looks like Brentford is going to start the second half with a tactical change as Kevin Shada has come out. And I'll get to you. I'll get you the replacement as soon as possible. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I thought that was a good tackle. It didn't look like it was a bad tackle at all. As play is resumed in the second half, that'll get out, and it looks like it'll be a Spurs throw in here. As that ball gets flicked forward off the foot of Richarlison, but Brentford now will hold possession. That's a good play right there by Betancourt, trying to poke that one away. And now this is taken away by Randall Colomwani, who tries to make a run forward. As that ball will get swinged all the way to the right-hand side, it's Mohamed Kudus who recovers. As now Toro will play it around the corner. Kudus. And it looks like that's going to play it out. And it looks like, let me go ahead and find out who that replacement is. And it looks like, yeah, Rico Henry is coming in. So it looks like Keith Andrews has brought in more defense here. As looks like that will actually be a goal kick. So Brentford now will hold possession here. As that ball now will move forward. Good progression out of the whatever press that was from Spurs, but that's going to be taken away. Oh, nice give and go. It's Archie Gray who's going to bring. Oh, is Archie Gray going to beat his man? No, there's going to be. Oh, no whistle. Really? It looked like Archie Gray actually had a step. Archie Gray has actually had a game today, man. I know a couple of my friends, Jack and Dave of the Irish Hotspur were a little worried about whether Pap Sarr's inclusion, non-inclusion, was going to be a problem. But Archie Gray has actually had himself a game today. Yeah, it looks like Kevin Schott is in actually. Who did they take out? Was it Azier they took out? Yeah, it's Azier they took out, not Schott. I do apologize, guys. As this will be a free kick now. A deep free kick off the left-hand side now, as Jordan Henderson will be responsible for this one. As Jordan Henderson is back in the Premier League. Playing for the Bees. As this will be a long free kick in. As that ball is delivered to the back post, headed away by Bentancur. And Bentancur does a good job. And now Xavi does a very good job of trying to chase this one down. And they're going to say this one gets out. Good hustle right there by Xavi. It's nice. It's nice seeing this team run, man. As Pedro Porro will get ahead on that, and look at Mohamed Kudus coming in from deep areas to retain possession. As Vicario's ball is going to be taken away. As Brentford will swing this one down the right-hand side. As Spurs do a good job right there to close down the space right here. And now there's a ball they try to play over the top, and that's just going to get out. Not exactly a good way. Good way to attack right there. It looks like Damsgaard was trying to play one over. No communication right there, and that's been the story for Brentford all afternoon. Yep, when it clicks, it looks really good. Yep, it just hasn't clicked really for a long time. But again, I will go back and I will say it's like when you allow this team to play free-flowing attacking football without having a handbrake on, these are some of the things that you get to see. And I think it's an issue of trust. But that being said, it's like, look at what this team does defending a lead. There's not really that pressure of trying to keep the game close. They're able just to do their job without dealing with that type of pressures. As Brentford try to weave its way in a central area, but now here comes Spurs. And Gray will play this one off. Good ball forward. Oh, try to good give and go between Jed Spence, and Jed Spence will win the ball. Spence! Ooh. Oh. And Kolomwani missed it. And now there's a whistle as it looks like Kelleher is down. What a play by Jed Spence to play through traffic right there and progress the ball forward. As we see it again, it looked like that little give and go wasn't going to work, but it was a misplay right there by Brentford that allowed Spence to get on the ball in a good area And it looks like Spence just went over the top of Kelleher here. His forward momentum took him right over him. Oh, he didn't knee you in the back of the head, dude. That's just a way to stall. And then Kolo Moani missed it off the rebound as the ball ended up on Richarlison. His play was stopped right there. As their physios were looking at Kelleher, yeah, he's fine. Jed Spence's knee didn't collide with the back of his head at all. This is what you like to call a classic stall. Because Brentford was absolutely beat right there. And you're not trying to give away a third goal, right? That's actually kind of smart right there by Kelleher. Yep, no contact at all. As play resumes, as they're going to try to play one in. Look at Jed Spence all over this thing. Spence, here's Kolo. Oh, good defense right there. As Kolo couldn't get around as the ball ricochets off of Archie Gray. As Kolo isn't exactly your traditional left-sided attacker, but ooh, actually, I think that may have gotten off of Brentford right there. As they're going to say there's a whistle against Kolo Moani. That was soft. Soft. As play resumes here. And now Kelleher will be in charge of this free kick here. As that ball will sail along over the head. And there's Romero. As Archie Gray now will play it forward. As that's taken away by Spurs. Xavi. Oh, that ball was led a little too far forward, but taken away. Here's Kudus now. In a central area. Kudus puts one on. And right there is Kelleher. Good save right there by Kelleher. As he tried to put one on from outside the box. I thought there was going to be a nice little cheeky inside flick, but here's Van de Ven. Lays it off. As Jed Spence is trapped. Yeah. And that was easy for Brentford, but that's going to be taken away. Here's Kolo. Lays it over to Richarlison. Richarlison tries to play one on, but that's going to get blocked. Held in by Pedro Porro. Good run by Porro. In. That's going to get played out for a corner. As Spurs have kept the pressure up, but you wonder if they're kind of feeling a little leggy. That's a good run. That's a good interior run right there by Pedro Porro. Spurs had 3 in the box right there. Good defense, but this will be Mohamed Kudus on this corner here. As that thing will go short, headed up, and headed away. Headed forward. Here's Richarlison. Oh, wonderful play by Kudus to even keep this in. As Kudus is trying to get around the corner. Good defense right there by Brentford. But look at that hustle right there by Pedro Porro to tap it out. As Pedro Porro is hustling his balls off today. Same thing with Xavi. Same thing with pretty much everyone. As that ball is going to be taken away. And there's going to be a whistle as Betancourt will get taken down by Damsgaard. So this will be a free kick. And now literally the last 5 minutes, Spurs have kind of put their foot back on the gas. as they're re-showing that Kudus shot on goal. Good angle. As the rain has started to fall in North London. So it'll be Kudus and Porro over this free kick. And now they'll play it short. That was just a bad decision by Kudus. And now it'll be Damsgaard coming in from a central area. He's going to play this off to the right. Ball forward. And there's Vicario coming out to take care of that one. As they were trying to play Igor Thiago onto it. Now here's Jen Spence. Down the left-hand side. Spence have beaten his man. Spence trying to play it in. That's going to get tipped away. But tipped forward. And it's Kolo Muani. Oh, Kolo missed his opportunity. Spence will hold it. That's going to get out. He actually had Richarlison open in the central area in the box. They're going to say this is offside. That's funny. Yeah, we are definitely playing like a team that knows what we're doing today. I would agree with that. Yeah, that's the thing that you hit it right on the head. They seem to be on the same wavelength today. 100% agreed. As Kelleher will play this long, as we are now approaching the 58th minute now in the second half. And that ball's going to fall down to Xavi. Xavi's off to the races. Here's Kudus. Now he's got the overlap. Here's Xavi. Back post. Good defense right there as Richarlison will chase it. Good touch right there by Richarlison to hold the ball in. As Romero will play it into Kudus. As Spurs now will play this around all the way back again. And now Vicario will play it long. Good job right there by Kudus. But then he immediately plays it back. And that's just stupid. Every time we do that, we invite pressure. That's why I absolutely that's the downside of Spurs is just like that. Now you turn the ball over and now you go direct. That's a good tackle, but that's held in. Here's Shada. Good ball movement here. Taken away by Spurs. And there's going to be a whistle. Yeah, there has to be a whistle right there on Shada. But every time you do that, every time you play back and you concede a forward position, you play into the strong hand of your defense that wants to actually apply pressure. And it was Mikey Van de Ven that made a very good tackle on Igor Thiago. And that was the thing that Spurs were not doing in the first half. They were not just conceding space. They were actually getting forward at a very high clip. And again, at the half, and I said this at the half, one of the worst things Spurs could do is take their foot off the gas, because that's when you start conceding goals. You have to continue to twist the screw and get that third goal, get that fourth goal, and make it a resounding victory to leave absolutely no doubt as play is resumed. Here's Van de Ven. And now Van de Ven will go forward. Good run by Van de Ven. Here's Xavi. Here's Pedro Porro. Porro crosses to the back post. Oh, what a dangerous cross right there, because he had Richarlison at the back post. Oh, and if that ball was on the money, there's three. As Richarlison beat his man, he just couldn't get there. Oh, what a ball in by Pedro Porro. And it looks like Damsgaard is off. Jensen comes on. here in the 60th minute. So Brentford will make their second substitution of the second half. As Spurs now will try to press Kelleher. Taken away by Richarlison. Xavi. Oh, man. Just waited just a second, and Kelleher got back into position. Good defense by Van de Ven there, closing down the right-handed lane right there. But again, great pressure by Kolomuani. Richarlison finds Xavi, but he just hesitates a little bit. And Kelleher was able to get back into position. Oh, what a waste. Good. By the way, great pressing right there by Kolomuani off the backside of Kelleher. As they're going to try to play one in. As Betancourt clears it out. Good positioning in the box by Spurs. As they're going to have to play this one all the way back to Kelleher. I don't know, man. I know a lot of Spurs fans think that. I don't think there is a way in hell that Spurs, if this plays out to the way that you think, there's no way in hell Spurs get rid of EDV. I can see them getting rid of Romero first before BDB. If he goes in and shines for the Dutch in the World Cup and they get to like a semifinal, like they did in the Euros, I think Spurs would lose a lot of goodwill in their fan base if they get rid of one of their better players. Now, again, it all depends on where we're at as a club at the time. That's definitely going to play into it. If we struggle to the end and we find ourselves in the lower half of the table, yeah, maybe he just decides that he wants to go win trophies. As Shada will pop one in, but there's Vicario. But if Spurs are there is a way that you can still progress as a club, and maybe that is moving on from Porro and trying to get better. If you wanted to go in that direction, but VDV is so special. And it looks like there's a whistle there as Kudus goes down. Yeah, I don't know, man. And it looks like Polina is coming in. So Betancourt will come off as João Polina comes on here. I actually like this. By the way, congratulations to Rodrigo Betancourt. He actually he actually redeemed himself, because that last performance against Newcastle was absolutely dog shit. That's the thing, is like we're in a different position as a club where you can understand when they got rid of Gareth Bale to Real Madrid, right? We weren't in the financial position we are right now. That's a good play right there by João Polina. And here comes Polina now. Lays it off to Kudus. Kudus. Oh, one touch, Kudus. You got to play it in. And now Kudus will play it all the way back. Here's Porro trying to, off the half turn, trying to get it into a good position. Here's Kudus now. Plays it in. Polina back to Porro. And that goes all the way back. Yeah. And now, shit. Forward. There you go. Here's Richarlison. God damn it. As Kelleher will boot this long. Nice little tap right there by Caduce. And now all of a sudden, and Caduce loses control there. Oh. As Brentford regains possession in a good spot. Nice tackle right there by Polina as Archie Gray will have to play this back. As Vicario. Here's VDV. And that's taken away by Brentford. Off the right-hand side. Ooh, good defense right there. As VDV will play this one out. So this will be a corner kick as looks like Jordan Henderson had a step. VDV takes a very good sliding tackle right there to push this one out. Good recovery by Spurs right there because they got pinned back. Oh yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Carl. But again, I will say that Spurs are in a much different financial position now than they were back in those days where as that ball gets whipped in and that wasn't the greatest shot on that right there. But it's going to be headed forward now to the left-hand side. And there's a whistle as Richarlison is down. Back in those days where, in back-to-back summers where we got rid of our two best players in Gareth Bale and Luka Modric, we almost as a club had to do that just from a pure financial standpoint. I would probably assume we wanted to keep those players, but there was no way we would have been able to afford them and try to keep some of that, that team intact. So it was understandable. I didn't like it, but I understood it. Like there's no excuses these days why we can't keep our best players in a Spurs shirt and build around them. And that's the thing. All it's going to do is all it's going to do for them is to spend the money to do it. Now again, it has to be mutual. The player and the club have to want that. And if I'm wrong, I think VDV and it looks like right now the club is actively working towards an extension for VDV. As they're replaying the Richarlison goal real quick, as we are now approaching the 70th minute. So we are at 20 minutes as it looks like Richarlison is up. Play is resumed as there's a ball to the back post, and that's going to get all the way out for a goal kick. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Carl. And I like where your mind's at, but I just don't think that Spurs are going to let Van de Ven go. You need to kind of you need to at least keep the spine of your team together for 5 years. Yeah, and that's the thing. Is it like right now Spurs are trying to actively sign Van de Ven to an extension. They'll get it done. As Vicario will play this one all the way down. It looks like that one will get out for a Spurs throw-in. As here we are in the 70th minute. Here's Richarlison. That ball's taken away. And here comes Brentford as they will play this down the left-hand side. Good ball. Oh, nice positioning right there from Pedro Porro to take away that run. And it's Caduce who's got to play this one back. And that'll get out of play. Didn't understand it. As that ball goes into Thiago. Beats his man. Ooh. Good play right there by Romero as we see this again. It was a quick throw-in, and they got Thiago on it. And it beat Van de Ven around, but then there was Romero right there with a great tackle to tip that one away. But here come Brentford again. Yeah. Yeah, I can see them moving some of their youngsters as well, too. Potentially a Dane Scarlett's going to get moved on. Maybe even a Jamie Donnelly. And that's going to be tipped away. And here's Xavi. Good. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a foul right there against Xavi. And it's going to be a yellow card. 100%. As we see this again, Xavi absolutely beat him right there. And then he gets dumped along the touchline right there. That's odd. That's odd that Yarmouk will get the yellow. But earlier in that first half, down in Spurs zone half, there was an elbow that didn't get called. The Spurs now get trapped, and that ball's going to get headed away, but Spurs will hold this. Oh. Look at Kudus winning that ball back up high. Here's Porro. Here's Kudus now. As Kolo Muani, something happened to Kolo. And that ball's going to take a misdirection, pop straight up. And now there's going to be a whistle on Richarlison. Maybe. I just don't think they're gonna sell him regardless. As Wilson Odebear is going to check on. As Kolo Muani is going to come off. Good match by Kolo Muani today too, by the way. He was pretty good down that left-hand side. I'll give him credit. He made a good couple of interior runs as well too in that first half, but by and large, Spurs have been a little bit more risk averse here in the second half. They have taken their foot a little bit off the brake, and it's obvious they're not getting forward with the same type of intensity as they did. Getting two first half. I can't even speak English. Getting 2 first half goals. Apparently, that is enough for Thomas Frank. As there's Romero. And Romero's got nowhere to go. As VDV will play this forward. Here we go. Here's Xavi. He's got space to run. Xavi will play it off to Kudus. Kudus tries to cut in. No whistle on Kudus. Yeah, I would agree. Kudus has actually played really well. And now this ball gets cleared all the way down as VDV will head it forward into Vicario. As that ball works its way down, and it'll be Romero. Here's Archie Gray. Good movement by Archie Gray. And that's taken. Oh, they're going to get a whistle against Polini against Igor Thiago. Yeah, I will say that you're absolutely right, Carl. That Kudus has actually been very brilliant in today's match. Same thing with Randall Kolo Muani. Tip your hats; they played well. But it's been a tale of two halves. The good that you saw in the first half has not been the same in the second half, and that to me is very disappointing because what I really wanted to see was the same intensity. There was no excuse. It's like okay, great, you have a 2-goal lead, but with the way that this team's defense has been playing over the course of the last 6 weeks, man, they leak goals. And that's what my fear was, as that ball's taken away from Richarlison. And now Richarlison will take it away. Here's Jed Spence now. And now Odebear gets it taken away. Good slide tackle right there. They're gonna whistle that against Archie Gray. And they're gonna give Gray a yellow to boot. Oh, I don't know about that. That was actually a good tackle by Archie Gray. Timed it perfectly. Oh, he got the back foot. I got you. Fair enough. From one angle, it looked like he got a ball. From that angle, yeah, okay, I get it. So this will be a free kick from Brentford, and of course, over the last 15-ish minutes, Brentford has actually worked their way into some good positions in Tottenham's half, as that ball will go forward, headed across, as Kudus does a good job. As that ball gets ricocheted, here's Polina, and Polina will clear it. Good race as Kelleher beats Kelleher does a really good job right there against Wilson Odebear. As Spurs will play this back to Jed Spence, and I guess this is just back and forth between the goalie, as Pedro Porro will play it forward, but held in by here's Brentford. Here's Kevin Shada. Plays it off. Ball gets played in, and it gets played out. As Jensen will play it all the way over. And again, especially on that sequence, there was no intensity at trying to close down the space. Hey, just have a free ball into the box. It seems like Spurs are content with the 2-goal lead. And here we go. Here's Jed. He's got an inside runner, lays it off. Oh, Wilson, you got to take a shot right. Oh, goes in. Oh. Yeah, they're going to say it's offside, yeah. And it was a good through ball right there, too. Oh, yeah, okay. So he was offside to begin with. I got you now. Disappointing. As Wilson Odebear was offside to begin with. But the reality is, like, when that through ball comes in, it's like you don't make a touch and progress the ball forward. You literally just take a shot and you go far post and you bury it. That's it. So here comes Papsar now, as we are in the 79 plus 30. And it looks like Romero's coming off. So Papsar will come on for Kudus. And it looks like Kevin Danto's coming on for Romero. So there you go. The last 10 minutes. Yeah, dude, that really was a good finish, right? Like when you look at the angle in which he put that in, that was absolutely beautiful. But again, it was offside. It was offside to begin with. What a shame. As the same intensity cannot be said Spurs have played with in the first half as they played in the second. A little disappointing, but that being said, Spurs will cling to a 2-goal lead here as we are now approaching the final 10 minutes. And that's a very good way to cut that off from Archie Gray, as Gray's now surrounded by 3 defenders, and he's actually going to beat one of his defenders, but that gets out. He tried to get around the corner. Nice run right there by Archie Gray. Gray's had a great game today, man. Good press right here from Spurs. Oh, and Brentford did a very good job. As VDV does an even better job right there, closing that down. Tip forward. And here comes Brentford now. Look at Paulina. Oh, look at Paulina right there, taking it away. No foul. Xavi will lay it forward. Here's Jed. Jed trying to. Why slow it down, Jed? Oh, Sar. Oh, my God. How do you not score from there? As that ball gets played out. Oh, Pap. As Jed Spence did actually get it into a good area, and Pap Star couldn't control it. Oh. He just couldn't get a handle on it. Oh, and it actually hit Kelleher right in the nuts. Bad timing. He seems okay too, by the way. That's even the more surprising thing, as he was tagged right in the dick. As Danso will play this in, punched away. Move forward up right there. That will get played right back in. And it's Igor Thiago, who does a very good job. Here comes Brentford, playing it forward. Good defense right there by, was that Jed? Yeah, 100% that was Jed. Good hustle by Jed Spence right there. Taking away the edge right there as that gets played out. So this will be a Brentford corner as we're in the 83 plus 30. I think Kelleher will be pissing blood. That was point blank right in the nuts. As here we go right here, as Brentford will have this corner. That gets played in short. As that ball will get progressed forward. But ultimately, Brentford will control possession here. As that gets worked away to the left. And here's Kevin Schad. As Papsar tried to close down space here. There's a ball. That's going to be headed away from Archie Gray. Chested down by Richarlison. As Richarlison can't get around the corner. By the way, dude. Yeah, Richarlison's kind of slow in the open field. As it looks like he was just playing the defender, hoping he's going to draw a whistle. As we are now approaching minute 85, 5 minutes left in this one, as Macario will hold this free kick here. As Spurs are 5 minutes away from getting their second victory at home. So from all things considered, yes, you can say that mission accomplished. But again, there were some inconsistencies in this match. We will get to it as soon as this thing is over. As Brentford will hold possession here. Oh, very good play right there by Papsar. But Brentford works its way out of it. As that will go to Kelleher, excuse me. Ooh. And Kelleher will play this long. as Jed Spence does a good job right there. As that'll get out. As Van de Ven does a really good job right there. And now they'll play it all the way to Richarlison, who's got space. Richie, they got runners in. Here's Xavi. And it's Jed Spence. Here's Xavi. Here's Jed. As Jed tried to cross one in. Flicked on, but cleared. As Kevin Danso misplayed it. And that's taken away. And it's Kevin Shaw. Look at Van de Ven. Nothing coming. Good positioning right there by Van de Ven to clear that shit out. As looks like Brentford will make a change here. And it looks like Keane Lewis Potter will come on for Otara. I kind of like Keane Lewis Potter. But nonetheless, Brentford will hold possession here. As that ball gets played in. As I don't have no idea what Pedro was trying to do there as that ball gets headed in. And and Thiago just missed it. He had the angle too. The Spurs were caught napping there at the back post. As we see this again, as that ball gets played straight up and then headed, and there's Thiago, and he just flat out missed it. Very uncharacteristic of Igor Thiago right there. And he had a nice little lane to the back post right there. He missed it short side. And that was Brentford's best opportunity right there in the second half. So this will be a goal kick as Vicario will play it long. As that's headed down and out by Kevin Shatta. As we are now approaching the 89th as that ball's played forward. As that falls to Polina. Danso will try to play this forward. As Richarlison tries to race to it. As that'll just go all the way out for a goal kick. So Spurs' best opportunity of the second half was the misplay by Papsar. As the intensity was definitely not the same in the second half. But credit Spurs defensively, because I think they did a very good job in this one. Taking away Igor Thiago and his ability. And I think overall, I just think they had a good defensive game plan against Brentford. They were able to keep this 2-goal lead intact, which is massive. Nice little play right there by Vicario. As we are now in the 90th minute now. 7 extra minutes of added time. As I assume it's going to be more of the same. Yep. Yeah, well, if anything, what it does is it gives the players confidence, and that's something that's been lacking, right? They badly needed a win, and they were able to get that from that standpoint, yeah, maybe it does, because the bread and butter is absolutely in the Premier League, and when you consider their points tally over the last 2 months, man, it hasn't been good. As that ball's taken away. progress forward. Good ball forward off the outside. Here's Jed Spence now. Jed. And floating all the way to the right side, it's Caduce. Here's Poro. And they're just not like you can tell this. The Spurs are just not trying to attack, as they just conceded the entire field back to their keeper. They're just trying to play keep away here. It's like these little things that frustrate the ever living hell out of me. As that ball is going to get played forward, they actually got Thiago on. Nice little tip up by Thiago. Here's Shad. Good defense right there. That's going to get out for a corner. As Jed Spence has actually had a game today too. Credit Igor Thiago, because he's the only dude that's actually trying to hustle for Brentford. But this will be a corner. As that's going to be headed away. Nice hustle by Xavi, who's going to try to play this one forward. Here's Wilson Odobert. Here's Gray. Yep. Plays it back. Plays it all the way back. As they are, this is what pisses me off. They're just actively not doing anything with the ball. Here's Xavi, and there's a whistle, so that'll be a free kick. Xavi's actually had himself a hell of a game. And it looks like Xavi. Is Xavi going to take his own free kick? As we are waiting for this this free kick to be taken, we are now in the 94th minute, 3 minutes remaining. And it'll be Pedro Porro here. And that ball goes in and headed up and over. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with it. Xavi is the man of the match, without a doubt. As that ball will go forward and headed out of play. Ugh, 2 minutes remaining. Oh, nice hustle right there by Polina. At least Polina is showing heart here. As Thomas Frank will be happy that he was able to get the entire 3 points from his former team. As they work this down to the left-hand side here. Here's Shada. Nice ball through. As they're going to try to play one onto the back post. Good defense right there by Spurs, but that's going to be held in. They'll try it again. Flicked on. That's going to get out. And it looked like it was flicked on by Janelle. As we are now approaching the 97th minute. 10 seconds remain. As Xavi 100% was the man of the match today. As Beccario will play this long, looking for the final whistle here. And there it is. Spurs get a massive 3 points at home to move to 22 points. Goals by Richarlison and Siemens, as Xavi also assisted on that goal by Richarlison, as Spurs finally get some home cooking in a very big way. And it was a must important 3 points for our beloved Tottenham Hotspur. And, again, it was a tale of two halves, really, when you look at this. What I will say is that in that first half, from the minute go, they were on the front foot. They were the one that was, they were the ones that were being brave, and they were also playing, by and large, that entire first half without the handbrake on. And we saw exactly what this team is capable of on the counterattack when you just allow your players to do what they do best. And this team was beautiful on the counterattack in the first half, playing direct, getting the ball on the foot of Xavi Simons in space, attacking channels, playing balls onto his foot, and he gets an assist and a goal. It was absolutely brilliant. Then the second half started, and it felt for a good portion of that second half we just took our foot off the gas. Like two goals was good enough, and that's where the frustration sits on me, because I was saying at the half that what they absolutely cannot do is take their foot off the gas and think that this is going to be good enough, because this defense has a history of leaking goals, especially in the last six weeks. And one of the things I didn't want them was to get one back, because as soon as they get one back, then all of a sudden momentum switch, and then all of a sudden a 2-goal lead, and now we're trying to hold on to a 2-2 draw. Thankfully, it didn't happen, and we kept our defensive shape. That was absolutely awesome, because listen, man, I will give credit to João Polina. He did a great job down that left-hand side, and I thought Archie Gray played well on the opposite side. And luckily, we were able to keep him out of dangerous areas. But that being said, it's like, we didn't keep the same attacking intensity in the second half. But that being said, I don't want to be a party pooper. We got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. All right, let's look at the stats here. The full-time stats, as Spurs were able to win the possession battle 53-47. So, Brentford in that second half were able to do a little bit more with the ball. They didn't score a goal, but it is what it is. XG battle, Spurs 2.15 to Brentford's 0.29. 15 total shots for Spurs to Brentford's 4. 7 shots on target, 4 big chances, 3 of them missed, by the way. Accurate passes, Spurs 329, Brentford 280. Fouls committed, Brentford 9, Spurs 8. Corners, Spurs win the corner battle 7-6, as at the half it was 6-1. So you can see the job that Brentford tried to do in that second half, and at least trying to be somewhat dangerous. But again, Spurs defense was pretty good. Shots inside the box, Spurs 9, Brentford 3. By the way, XG from open play, Spurs 1.84 to Brentford's 0.27. Total passes, Spurs 399, Brentford 355. Passes in their own half, 153 Spurs, Brentford 141. Passes in the opposition half, 177 to 139. Accurate long balls, 24-19. Accurate crosses, 5-2. Touches in the opposition box, 24-17 Spurs. Offside Spurs 2-1. Yellow cards, by the way, Brentford 4, Spurs 3. Tackles, Brentford wins the tackle battle 23-18. Although interceptions, Spurs had 12 to Brentford 6. So we did a very good job of clogging those passing lanes in central areas. So that was actually pretty big of Spurs. Clearances, Brentford 32, Spurs 28. Brentford wins the duel battle 54-49. Ground duels 38-35 Brentford. Aerial duels 16-14 Brentford. And successful dribbles 8-7 Spurs. But again, we get the 3 points. And the man of the match has to be Xavi Simons. And I think Thomas Frank did a very good job in that first half of unleashing them. And I think that he came good. And from that standpoint, what we take from this win, 100% what we take from this win is continuing that progression, taking what works and progressing that forward against Nottingham Forest. Easier said than done, but that's what you have to do if you're Spurs. In isolation, what worked and what didn't. Well, what didn't work is the same thing that always hasn't worked, which is conceding space. When you're holding the ball high up the pitch, that doesn't work. What works is finding turnovers in the middle of the field and just playing the ball up as quick as you possibly can, getting the ball in the feet of your best forward players and letting them go. That's what works. And again, this is going to be a situation where, you find these little pockets of progression and you move them forward if you're Spurs. But congratulations to Tottenham getting a big 3 points. By the way, with that, Spurs move into 8th place on 22 points. They are now literally 2 points away from a European spot, as Everton, their win today moves them to 24 points. And we are now 1 point above Sunderland and Crystal Palace for 6th and 7th place. So we are, with this win, we did ourselves a solid by putting ourselves in a good possession table wise, which is going to be nice. By the way, our next opponent, Nottingham Forest, in 16th place on 15 points. So, yeah. What I will say is, Sean Dyche has come in and done a good job. They've won 3 out of their last 5, but we'll see how that progresses. By the way, so far today, when we look at matches, Villa beat Arsenal today 2-1. Everton beat Forest 3-0. Newcastle beats Burnley 2-1. City beat Sunderland 3-0. Chelsea and Bournemouth finished 0-0, and then later today, Leeds will host Liverpool, and tomorrow Brighton hosts West Ham, Fulham hosts Crystal Palace, and Wolves host Manchester United. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Very big win today. Xavi Simons wins my man of the match, and I will just say, from an overall attitude perspective, this was probably one of Spurs' best wins today, man. Before I go, man, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons and also hit the notification bell as well, too, so you don't miss out on any upcoming Stateside Footy content, including today in 2.5 hours, MLS Cup Final, as Inter Miami will host the Vancouver Whitecaps. It is Thomas Muller versus Leo Messi. It is going to be an absolute banger. Make sure you stick around for this one, as we're essentially watching MLS's two best teams compete for the biggest trophy in the United States. So hopefully we'll see you there, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Take care.